Alright, on this episode of the Bionicle Inspiration Series, the show where we spotlight mocks from across the Bionicle community to inspire you, we'll be discussing some LEGO and Bionicle related Pokemon mocks. There are some incredible creations in today's episode, so let's kick things off with the first mock today that was built by DV Mocks, and it depicts Darkrai. Mate, they really nailed this. Everything from the pose to the shadowy wisps on his lower body. This is perfection. If we take a closer look here at the chest design, we can see that there is this black dome piece. So this piece originally appeared on the back of Toa Ignica's hoverboard. It was honestly such a good set, and it is lovely to see this piece actually being used on a mock. People don't use it all that much. But the unique curvature of it, well, it's a cool piece if you can find a good way to use it, and this was a very good way to use it. It's probably the only piece you could use that would perfectly replicate his torso design. A few other clever part uses include the way that the white wisp on the top of the head has been created. Of all the different pieces that are being used here, the most notable one would have to be these white foot pieces that came on the Baraki set Prydak. They're quite large foot pieces, but honestly, putting it here, it was the perfect piece to have it look like it's just trailing off, the same way it does in the source material. So other areas and sections of this use some white fur pieces. These are the same ones that came on a Hero Factory set like Frost Beast, for example. Yeah, those two pieces together like that, so good. I also love this string of red system curve slopes around the neck area, and the way that everything else has this lovely blend of system and CCBS pieces. It's incredible. It's lovely to see one of my favorite Pokemon brought to life with Lego bricks. And now Dylan Meaves has various versions of Deoxys. Dude, this might be one of the most well-built Pokemon mocks that I have ever seen, ever. Each form is literal perfection. Yeah, let's go through form by form and talk about all the awesome techniques that are going on here. So starting off with Deoxys in their normal form. You know, these DNA strand looking arms are perfect. They look just like the real thing. So this uses a mixture of orange and dark azure big macaroni pieces. So these actually only appear in orange in one set, and that's this Harry Potter Room of Requirement set. You can see them here on this orange serpent that's like moving around this room. And if you want them in dark azure, a pretty modern set that comes with them is this Dreams set here. So obviously to get them in such large quantities like Dylan has done here, you need to go to like Bricklink or Bricks and Pieces on lego.com. But hey, if you do get a lot of these and add them to your collection, look at the amazing results you can make with them. If you don't have any of these pieces, you are missing out. So helpful, so good. Now check out Deoxys', how do you say the plural of Deoxys? Now check out the face on Deoxys here. So elegantly recreated. I actually really like the fact that Dylan hasn't included the eyes on here. I think at this scale, it just wouldn't really work, and it would be really difficult to get it to look exactly right. So a blank face like this, it gets the job done. All right, moving over now to the defense form for Deoxys. The different approach to the arm design here, I like this. Just some clips and some bar connections, but hey, it works well, and it's incredibly poseable. But yeah, this thinner design, it does match the source material very, very well. Also, what a great way of recreating the unique disc-like appearance of their waist. Using these orange dish pieces and then like angling them just slightly. Perfection. Great idea. Now we're gonna head over to Veilstone City, go to the Meteor and change to the attack form. We have that exact same technique here using those big macaroni pieces for the hands, but here it's a little bit more spread out. The arms don't wrap around each other. And to achieve this, Dylan has added a few smaller rounded tiles and rounded bricks in between these macaroni pieces. And that way you can achieve more straight lines within this design. It's a very tiny change, but it's a clever way to match the original Pokemon, and also just spice up the design a little bit and not have it look too similar to the other form. The angles on the spikes of the head here, I don't know if you'd call those spikes. The little doodly bops on the side of the head. That's very well recreated. And hey, this color scheme, dark azure and orange, sure, it's accurate to Deoxys. But you could totally do a similar color scheme on any mock that you make, whether they're a Pokemon or not. It's just so crisp and so beautiful. And finally, the speed form. It's so fun to see all the different approaches to the arm designs here, but this one's cool. Using a lot of 2x2 round bricks in dark azure and orange, and then linking them together with some flex tube. Wonderful. And once again, it's very accurate. This design rocks. I also really like this leg design here, using one of these very large curved slope pieces. It matches that really sleek and agile design that the source material has. And also, it's worth noting, these pieces are pretty big pieces. So when you individually study each piece on this mock, you realize actually this is huge. I'm sure seeing them in person, you'd be a little surprised at how big they really are. Oh, I'd love to see these in person though. I reckon they would be beautiful to see and study in real life. would be a sight to behold. Hey, these are gorgeous. Dylan nailed this. Amazing work. The next Pokemon in our little team of 6, this was built by God Turtle Bricks, and they have expertly recreated Mewtwo. So we have a very system-heavy mock here, but the subtle highlights of CCBS pieces, they really do perfect this design. Yeah, look at these lower legs, for example, using some white CCBS bones and some actual CCBS armor as well. It all blends beautifully with these curved system slope pieces. And actually, the rough look of these Bionicle parts, it actually pretty effectively mimics the look of the real thing. You know, and with the power of CCBS pieces, it would also have a good amount of posability, which we like to see. There's also this nice white armor shell on the top of Mewtwo's head, and that very neatly rounds things off and once again captures the look of the face very well. This finger design is lovely, this tail design is magnificent. Yeah, while the tail does have more visible segments in between each area, it still looks pretty accurate, and it does match the overall shape of Mewtwo's tail as well. But up next, we have my boy Venusaur, and Mike Neves is the one who built this. This is a lovely Bionicle-heavy mock. You look at these legs using dark blue Rakshi heads to make up the lower leg, and in the back there, it's using Nakama Hordika's mask. That's wonderful stuff. And it's amazing how much those pieces actually recreate and actually look like Venusaur's legs. I also quite like these flower petals on Venusaur's back, all the dark red and that one dark blue one. You know, maybe you could have kept all of those dark red. But there's something nice about a little subtle hint of dark blue. I don't know what it is, I just like it. Now these are some older pieces. The dark red ones, they came in this Alpha Team set. You can see them being used here on the villain machine as wings. And then in dark blue, they appeared on this Aqua Raiders set on this giant squid. You know, oddly enough, these two pieces, they only appeared in dark red or dark blue in these sets and these sets alone. But what a great idea to be using them for flower petals. Now, be sure to check the links in the description below and then take a look at Mike's work in particular because he has all sorts of different Pokemon builds out there, especially like Bionicle-focused Pokemon builds. It's definitely worth checking that out if you've been a little bit inspired by this episode and you want to see even more cool Pokemon characters. The next Pokemon mock is built by This Is Nothing at All, and they've made Xerneas. I swear, it's impossible to make a bad deer mock. How majestic and beautiful does this look? I mean, look at those lovely antlers. Look at the way that they've repeated all of those animal tail pieces on the torso and belly. It so effectively recreates the natural organic curvature that you often see on real animal creatures. And to top it all off, everything also looks so accurate to Xerneas. I especially love how they've used some of these blue CCBS shells pretty much everywhere, but my favorite area is how they've used them on the very front there to recreate the little kind of like protruding areas on the sides of Xerneas's torso. Very pretty. Also a really great inclusion to have them standing on this little base with a bunch of red flowers beneath it. Very nice. And finally, we have a mock showcasing Torchic, and it's built by Ferox Journey. It's so delightful to see this adorable little bean brought to life. Smart idea to use some of those tan Vorox feet pieces from the lovely set Vorox, and just using them to recreate Torchic's feet. It's a pretty good match. And then the inclusion of orange gully hooks on the body, CCBS shells for wings. This is awesome. And heck, if you wanted to steal some of these designs and use them to build your own chicken or bird-like Rahi, you easily could. Pokemon is just a great resource for inspiration. There's all sorts of good ideas that you can take and you can just apply them to Bionicle-focused characters. Alright, that's it for this episode of the Bionicle Inspiration series. Hopefully taking a look at some of those Pokemon creations gave you some ideas. Like I said, check the links in the description and see more from the builders that I featured today. Otherwise, in the description below are links to my own social media and the submission email. It's also on your screen right now. If you'd like to submit your own mocks to the show, that's the way to do so. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now.